Welcome to Gas Station Cappuccino by Caffeine and Kilos. I am Danny Lehr. Dean Saddoris next to me. And
on the mic.
Between us is something different. Dean, what is going on? What is happening between us? Because people watching on YouTube can see, but the listeners, they're not going to be able to know what's going on. What's happening there?
We got our drip cold brew mechanism brewing right now. It's about a 3-hour brew time.
It's science kit.
And it's actually dripping at a rate of 16 drips per 30 seconds. So roughly
24.
20.
Oh yeah.
20?
Wait. 8 for 50. Yeah, that's right. 32 minute.
Yeah, roughly. And so about 3 hours, 4 hours from now. At this rate, it looks like maybe longer.
This rate, it looks like we're
really good.
We're gonna enjoy it tomorrow morning.
We'll have really good 1 or 2 cups of coffee out of this
In the morning. Probably. Yeah, so it's there's a whole thing going on here. It's actually first time we used it, we filmed this is how we brew it, and it was a total failure. It just made tea. The grind wasn't fine enough. We didn't put enough in there.
Wasn't enough grinds, wasn't enough water, or it was too much water. I think we finally figured it out.
Yeah, it's true, because you can't really, it's not like too few grinds is the only problem if you use a lot of water. If you use just a little bit of water, then it's the appropriate amount of grinds.
Yeah, but we also came to the conclusion that it was possibly too coarse of a grind.
Too thick.
But a lot of cold brew is made with bigger grinds, which makes this whole thing very skeptical.
Yeah, so generally cold brew is made with thicker, more coarse grinds because it's smoother. So the more fine the grind oftentimes can lead to more bitter coffee. And if you use a little coarser grind, then that leads to a little bit smoother coffee. And cold brew is smooth just by the way it's brewed, because it's brewed with the cold water. It's not the hot water, but the coarse grinds help that. Yeah, so here though, it's literally dripping 30 drips per minute into a colander full of powder grinds. These things are grinded down to a fine powder.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a flour consistency.
Dean rubbed some on his gums.
Yeah, got me pretty fired up.
Get some going.
Yeah.
One time it was really fine powder grind coffee, and so we decided it'd be a good idea to take a little sniff.
Yeah, and that actually got you pretty jacked up.
It fired I started sweating like 5 minutes later. Like instantaneously just fired me. Aaron did it too.
Yeah.
Shit lit you up?
Did a backflip.
To the dome.
I'm not encouraging people to do it, but I mean, you should definitely try it.
Yeah. If you're over the age of 13.
If you're over but probably under the age of 65. You know, because that might be overbearing there as well.
Yeah, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
So
that sound is Dean chewing on ice, by the way.
Yeah, I gotta forget the thing. I can't keep doing that. I forget sometimes I was gonna be right in that mic.
Well, you gotta let the people know.
I just love ice.
You gotta let them know. Is that where Phil gets it from?
I love ice. I don't know. I think it might be.
Does Phil eat ice?
Yeah, he does.
Phil is Dean's dog.
Phil loves ice.
On the show all the time.
He loves ice.
Phil also loves eating coffee beans when they're dropped on the ground.
He's addicted to coffee beans.
He's got a penchant for coffee.
He does. And he goes absolutely apeshit when he eats them.
Well, he weighs, how much does he weigh? 12 pounds?
No way, dude. Maybe like less than 10.
I bet he weighs 12 pounds.
I don't think so. We'll put him on the scale.
What, you think he has hollow bones? He's not a bird.
Dude, he's tiny.
He's a chihuahua.
That'd be my phone going on.
First the
thought it was
chips.
on silent.
But, well, you live and you learn.
There we go.
Yeah. So Phil, yeah, he is a chihuahua. He is small.
He's tiny too. He's a small chihuahua.
Yeah. He is.
He's not like those bigger ones. You know like those big ones running around.
The big chihuahuas. By the way, did you know chihuahuas are actually sometimes they're one, sometimes number 2 of the most euthanized dogs.
Oh yeah, because they're like they're everywhere.
So it's chihuahuas and pit bulls. And so which one is 1 and which one is 2, I think changes year to year.
Yeah. Pitbull more for the violence, Chihuahua just because there's just so damn many of them.
Yeah, I actually heard someone said, it's like what happens is Paris Hilton posts a picture of her holding a Chihuahua, and so then breeders just go crazy because demand goes way up, and so then they just increase the breeding of them, and then the demand goes down 3 months later, and now there's all these Chihuahuas. It's like an issue. It's an issue.
Well, they just, and you like, You go down to Stockton, you just see them running around in packs, roaming the streets.
Feral dogs.
Yeah. My buddy works there a lot, doing like roadside construction and stuff like that, and he just sees just packs of dogs all over the place in Stockton all the time, just running around, fighting other dogs and taking off in groups. It's like dog gangs. A lot of Chihuahuas. There's just Chihuahuas running around everywhere in Stockton.
They're like...
or anywhere you find any low-income areas, there's going to be a lot of Chihuahuas. That's a fact.
Huh. I did not know.
Yeah. No, it's same with like pit bulls too, though. It's just that's just how it is.
Interesting.
Just like you go to you go uptown, you go to Beverly Hills, you're gonna find probably a lot of golden retrievers.
So I wonder if the dog gangs, are they the same type of dogs, or are there multiple breeds in one gang?
Chihuahuas, like some other kind of terrier stuff. He says there's a few like corgis too.
Like small dogs.
Small dogs.
So like big dogs can't get into the small dog gang?
No, there's a mixture of both. Sometimes the pit bulls will run with the Chihuahuas, he says. There'll be gangs of pit bulls and Chihuahuas running the streets. So he sees them like every day. So he says he sees it. He says it's crazy.
You get out and run with the dogs.
He said it's absolutely nuts.
You get out and run with them.
He's like, you think I'm kidding, but like they're everywhere.
Everywhere.
This is Ben's brother, Chris.
Huh.
He says that they're everywhere.
Right.
Thousands. And that's why
thousands?
No, thousands. He says he sees at least 20 to 30 stray Chihuahuas a day working in Stockton, in that area.
We're going to send him out tomorrow. We're going to send him with a pitch counter. Mm-hmm. And just have him click them off.
Yeah. I mean, he probably exaggerates a little bit, but I mean, he sees, double digits a day.
That's insane.
And they're just everywhere. But they just roam the streets.
Like, I wonder if they claim territories, like they're on one corner, like they claim a corner. Dogs are territorial.
Yeah. Especially Chihuahuas.
Ah,
they're one of the most territorial pets you can get.
Napoleon complex.
Yeah, they don't screw around, and they bark really loud.
And frequently. Dude, so we got a couple emails. Well, one, we got a comment on YouTube. For one, we were talking about the best bad movie. We both like Bubba Hotep. I vote Bubba Hotep as the best bad movie of all time.
That's a good one.
But our good friend Jake Pudens, he says the best bad movie is The Room.
That is The Room. Is that about like a panic room?
I think so.
I think I remember that vaguely. Like someone's breaking into these rich people's house, and they're in this panic room, and
the entire movie they're in the room.
I think I remember seeing the commercials for that.
It sounds awful.
That sounds like, yeah. I mean, but sometimes those movies that take place in one place kind of work sometimes. Sometimes they miss terribly.
I just check this out. Someone asked me a question. I was being interviewed on another podcast, and they said, "Okay, rapid fire." So I'm going to do the rapid fire questions with you that they did with me.
Okay.
Okay. First one relates to what we're talking about with movies. Well, my answer related to a movie. I guess yours doesn't. You're single, Dean. Mm-hmm. Just keep that in mind. That doesn't necessarily come into play, but it may. Okay, so there's no lady friend in the picture anywhere.
Okay.
Okay, nothing like that. Now, you are stranded on a deserted island, and you can have one person with you the entire time you're there, and just you two on this island. Who are you on that deserted island with?
One other person on the planet?
One other person on the planet.
Oh man, I don't even know. That's a hard question.
You're not being very rapid fire.
Well, that's not a rapid fire question.
Oh, sure it is. I got my answer right away.
Who's that?
That's fucking easy. Easy question. Tom Hanks. He's got experience.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good answer.
He's been there. He'll keep you alive.
I would say
He'll help you build the raft.
I would say one of those guys from Ultimate Survivor, or not Ultimate Survivor. What's it called? Survivor Dual Survivor.
You're gonna want to go with one of the guys from Survivor Show.
No. Dual Survivor. The guys that go out in the woods together, stranded in all the different parts of the world, and then they get out of them.
Ah.
One of them's like a ex-SEAL. The other one's like more of like a earthy hippie kind of guy. So it's kind of like both tactics, which one's superior in which climate kind of thing. They always kind of butt heads on what they think they should do. It's actually a really good show.
Man, see, so you went...
I'm going dual Survivor, guys.
You went reality TV, where I went someone with actual experience.
Yeah. Tom Hanks and his film crew and the corner of Hawaii that they filmed that on. With the resort behind them.
He was on that island all by himself. And he got off the island, he survived.
He was not by himself.
Grew a great beard.
He was with Wilson.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Maybe I'd bring Wilson with me.
Well, you wouldn't get any argument from him. Well, at least not on day one.
Maybe day 300 when I'm starting to hear his voice in my head.
And the other rapid fire question, Dean, what's your favorite lift? Snatch, clean and jerk, bench press. Like, what's your favorite lift? Like, get fired up and hit.
Well,
this is like a lead up to the question. This isn't the actual rapid fire question. This is
I feel. Don't get me wrong. I love like making a really good snatch. But there's something about making a baller jerk that just feels way more accomplished.
Oh man, see, I would say snatch just because clean and jerks are so hard.
Anybody can snatch.
Oh, that's not true.
I mean, I'm talking like anybody can put up a good snatch.
No, clean and jerk.
Not many people can put up a big jerk.
Well, clean and jerk takes some mental toughness.
I feel like I've gotten way more emotionally charged.
Oh yeah.
To tears almost, or from a big clean or a big jerk or a big clean and jerk.
Well, you know, because it's hard work. You know what else is interesting about that whole thing too, is talking about getting fired up for a lift. Like, you get super fired up for a snatch, and it just, I don't know how much that helps you because it's so technical. Mm-hmm. It's not like pulling harder is going to help really. Whereas clean and jerk's like, nah, man, like you attack the bar, it fucking matters.
Yeah, no, I honestly I'm gonna for 100% say clean and jerk.
All right, clean and jerk. So, this is the question. Clean and jerk, PR attempt, whatever, on the platform, coming up. You get one song and one song only. Mm-hmm. What is it?
That's gonna be Future. What the hell's the name of that song? Poppin' Tags.
Oh, yeah.
Future,
Go yard home.
Future Poppin' Tags.
Yeah.
I PR'd that song probably 7 times.
Tell me what you want. That is a fucking slapper. You know, it's funny. And so my answer, I said Future, but I go Future March Madness.
See, that's what Giletto does. When my buddy Giletto goes for a PR, he puts on March Madness.
And they're like, really? I did not expect that. Like, why would you not expect that? I don't understand. Well, here's the thing is, you know, it gets you hyped, but it's a different, you know, it's not like...
it's got a good beat. It's got a good beat drop in the beginning.
Well, that's the thing is, too, it's not like this, like, screamcore or, like, just, like, fuckboy thing where it's, like, you get all fucking, pumped up. It's like, March Madness, you get in zone. Like, March Madness puts me in, like, flow state. Mm-hmm. You know, because you kind of, like, get into it, like, you're pumped, but, like, you're grooving with it. You're not just, like, going crazy, smashing shit. And that's what so like a big tempt, yeah, you want to be fired up, but you don't want to be out of control, fucking berserker fired up. You want to be
clean and jerk.
You want to be like, but you still want to be focused. Like, you want to be focused, fired up.
There's a point during the clean and jerk where you don't even care what's happening around you. I think that's after you stand up to clean.
The bottom line is, yeah, you don't really know where you are. If you're doing it right, you could be anywhere in the world.
Yeah. On a clean and jerk for sure. Snatch, it's very easy to get distracted.
Hey, check this out. First time I cleaned 180 kilos. I'd never cleaned anything near it. It was like 175 or maybe 173 was the most I'd ever cleaned. But I was coming off my shoulder surgery and I couldn't jerk because it wasn't ready for that. But I could do cleans. I think for some reason I couldn't jerk. Maybe just my elbows bothered me or some shit. Anyway, point is I wasn't jerking. I was only doing cleans that day. So I was looking for a big clean, and Big Mike was there. Big Mike Jenkins, who has cleaned like 5 kilos over the world record for his age group and weight group. Okay?
He's cleaned 200 kilos.
He's cleaned like 200 kilos. Exactly. I think maybe more than that. Maybe like 205 or some shit. And at over 40 years old. Right? So it was like one of those things. So we're there and we're getting warmed up and he goes, hey, so what are you going to clean today? I said, well, I'm not jerking. So I'm thinking, he's what, you going to hit 170? I said, no, I might fuck around and clean 180. And he starts laughing. He goes, because he knows that's way over my PR. He goes, I will give you $100 if you clean 180 kilos. He goes.
Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. We're getting some action here.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's thick. That is juicy.
This is already 10,000 times darker.
It's like tar. We're talking the cold brew.
I'm pretty sure this is going to make a concentrate.
Fuck yeah, I hope so.
Maybe that's what it's supposed to be.
I think that's what it's supposed to be. Yeah, that is.
That looks like syrup.
That is what you want. So anyway, Look at that, it's barely making it around the horn. So, anyway, so I'll give you $100. And he goes in his gym bag, pulls out a $100 bill, and he lays it on the ground in front of the platform and puts like a little half-kilo weight on it to hold it. Go, I'm just going to leave this right here.
Taunt you.
Right? And we haven't even started warming up yet. I'm like, all right. So now it's on. And here's the thing is, I hadn't competed in a while because I had this surgery thing and like whatever, and I'm just getting it going. And so I hadn't really had like a reason to get like super pumped and training up till now. And like this was the time, like the stars aligned, whatever's going on, you know. And it was just one of those things where all of a sudden, like I just got in the zone. I was like, all right. It more than the $100, it was just the fact that he was so fucking certain that I couldn't do it that he was willing to put that money on the line.
Wow. Was this from the floor?
Oh yeah, from the floor. And so I'm like, this motherfucker, right? And so I just completely zoned everybody out. And pretty much as soon as we put any weight on the bar, like 70 kilos and on, I just didn't know where I was. Like it did not matter. Like I sat in a chair off the side. Like
no one really talks to you.
I didn't talk to anybody. Nobody didn't fucking. I just sat there. I would take my attempt and then I would sit down and close my eyes. And that was just it. And like I could hear the music going on, but I didn't watch a single other person's lift the entire session because I didn't have time for that bullshit, right? Mm-hmm. And then went up there, and before I had no idea what else was happening. Anyway, because so like Mike had on like these fucking sunglasses, and they were getting pumped because I'm so pumped. Now he really wants me to do this, you know?
Yeah.
And so it was like this Gucci Man song on, I remember, because the video later there's a video of it, and it like goes to Mike, and he's got on like these goofy ass sunglasses, and he's like nodding his head to the song, this whole fucking thing.
We'll link this video on the YouTube version of this podcast.
And anyway, then I fucking smoke it, right? When I say smoke it, I mean I triple bounced it in the hole, but got out of there, right?
That's impressive on its own.
It was the whole thing though. The point of all this is.
What was your best front squat at the time?
Oh, the most I've ever.
Most recently.
The most I've ever front squat is 192.
Yeah, so it's like.
So this is like 10 kilos under my best ever front squat, but and like I said, like probably like 7 kilos over my biggest clean. Like this was like a big lift, but it was just funny because we were talking about like being in the zone and how like when you're in a heavy clean, you have no idea. Like that was the entire. I had no clue what was happening around me. Like when I did open my eyes, it was foggy in there. Like I was completely fucking out of it.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I love that feeling.
And it doesn't happen often.
No, it's rare.
There's this guy who wrote a book called Stealing Fire. And he has another one, I think, called Becoming Superman, but Stealing Fire is a more recent one. The entire thing is he studies that flow state. And there's certain things you can do. They've done studies on, like, how do you get into that flow state.
But then it's artificial.
But if you do, I think if you stack these certain things, whatever, so it's shit like risky things.
But
like if you get your heart rate jacked up.
But why does there always have to be a way to manipulate a feeling?
Yeah.
Why can't you just let it happen?
Well, I think the deal there is...
Someone's trying to sell you something.
Well, I think the deal here is, though, is you like that feeling? Does that feeling help you perform?
Yeah.
Well, then wouldn't you...
But it's going to come naturally when I'm performing.
Does it happen every single time?
When it happens, it's supposed to happen, I feel like, right?
Right, but what I'm saying is this, is say that you were a...
But if you tap into that feeling every day, then that feeling doesn't have an effect anymore.
Correct. So you can't do it every day. I believe you're correct. However, say competition. How would you like to know if you're going to nationals, whatever, just if you're going to a big weightlifting meet, if you just knew you got an ace in the, I know if I do these 3 things, it's more likely to put me in that.
I can understand that.
I think that's kind of the
knowing what you need to do to get into it, but not necessarily doing it all the time. Yeah, I can understand that.
You can't do it every day. I don't think that, like you said, kind of ruins it. But yeah. So anyway, some of it's like risks. This dude's like, oh yeah, like you get your heart rate up, that's part of it, and like certain intensities, and then if there's like a little bit of risk and a little bit of creativity and like these different things. So this dude talks about like he takes his dog for a walk and they run up the mountain, and then he when they get to the top, he hangs out like a minute, and then he turns around and runs down this mountain. And like something like some risk and like that type of thing. And like anyway, it's
tripping on a boulder and then just tumbling head first down the rest of the mountain.
Flow state, dog, worth it. Hashtag worth it. Look at how thick this shit is. Yeah. There's like, it's at the bottom here. It won't even spread out. It's like tar.
Yeah,
it's tar.
It's going to be really good.
That might be the thickest like coffee I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know, that cold brew we make in the fridge is pretty thick.
That's true. I would like to I'm
pretty sure you're not supposed to use 5 bags for 5 gallons of coffee.
I just really want to overemphasize how thick this is, though.
It's pretty thick. It looks like oil.
It does. It looks like oil. Oil?
It looks like oil.
Bitch, you cooking? Who said anything about oil?
Is this Texas? Because that looks like oil. No, yeah, no, that's
Black gold.
That's interesting. That I don't know. I'd have
Yeah.
to. Yeah, but I do like that state. It
is incredible.
It's an incredible state.
There is.
I think that's
nothing
why.
like it.
I think that's the only reason why people do these kind of sports, just to find that feeling.
Absolutely. Like I can.
It's like a Nirvana feeling.
I can vividly, obviously not every time it's ever happened, but when I think about it, like I can vividly remember three specific times that I've been in that. It's happened more than that, but they're like 3 times like really stand out. Like that's how powerful it is that like you remember those moments.
Well, I actually hit that not that long ago. Because I had some issues where I busted my ankle, and then I had some hip back issues, and kind of put me out for a little bit, and then I came back and like a week ago or so, cleaned 150 again.
Yes.
And that's when and then I hit that. That's
super pumped.
I hit that feeling right then.
Yes. Right before the lift.
Yeah,
like
and
getting
after.
warming up for the lift.
And after too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Before
like
and after.
Tunnel vision.
After I got like emotional, where I started to I had to leave the room, and I kind of got emotional, and my eyes started watering and stuff, because it's like, fuck, man, this shit's hard.
Shit's hard,
and it's fucking like it just kicks your ass, and then be able to like stick it out and then come back. Like I was like super. Like actually, my ankle was fucked. It was totally fucked up.
It was totally fucked.
Yeah, it was totally twisted and sprained and black and blue, and just like having to just restart when I was like on a really good track,
right?
And then just deal with all the shit it takes to get strong again. Like that's why the turnover rate in weightlifting is just so high.
Getting strong is hard.
It's so hard. It requires like full attention.
Which is what makes Tom Callis, weighing 198 pounds, back squatting 815 pounds. With just knee wraps and a belt, no squat suit.
Yeah, and I don't even want to get going on the squat suit stuff.
Extremely impressive.
Yeah. I think the whole entire squat suit thing is a joke.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion.
It's a different sport.
Well, I just don't see the point.
Well, so, okay, here, this is interesting.
I guess that's what people probably think about when snatch, clean, and jerk, too, I guess. So.
Yeah. Brandon Lilly actually talks about how he got really good at equipped lifting, and then he decided, I'm done with this. I'm just going to work on getting strong again. Quit wearing squat suit, and like couldn't squat. Like he was squatting like 1,000 pounds or 1,000 pounds in the squat suit, right? And that's all he trained in, because that's what he was like practicing in, right? That's what he was competing in. Took off squat suit, went to squat like 500 pounds, fucking couldn't do it.
Well, some of those suits, some of those suits, they put on 300-400 pounds onto your squat.
Well, what if you know how to use them?
Well, of course.
But
it's a skill.
It's a skill. It's a technique. So like you sit into the suit. So you're no longer trying to squat the weight. You're squatting into the suit the right way. It doesn't make it less impressive. Like shit, I couldn't unrack that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you still got to unrack it. But that's it's the whole and just trusting the suit.
Oh, and it's a whole. I'm not trying to demean anybody who does that. Like I definitely could not do that right now. Like I'm not saying I
just don't understand.
It's just a very different thing.
Mm-hmm. I just love raw strength and raw kind of strength sports, and that's
raw dog
why
lifestyle.
Yeah, and that's why I prefer like weightlifting and raw powerlifting. Like I find that extremely impressive.
Oh yeah. Hey, speaking of raw dog. Okay, so I talked about on podcast how I got my vasectomy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say also, it's one of those things no one talks about. You start talking about it, all of a sudden everybody's got a fucking story.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, there have been a couple individuals, one individual who you know, who I won't name on the podcast, but he listens to these, so he'll know I'm talking about him, hit me up, it's like, all right, man, after hearing your story, I went and made my appointment. I'm doing this. Am I going to need a ride home? Do I need whatever? Like, he's like,
am I going to need an ice pack?
Dude, I'm changing the world. People are getting their nuts snipped just from listening to this podcast.
It's a powerful platform.
So, check this out, though. Let me give you a little follow-up. So after 10 weeks, they say it's important to go get checked, right? Like you go and get your sperm count checked to make sure it worked. I don't know. I was like, yeah, okay, but like, how would it not work? Because they don't just like cut your vas deferens. Like they take like an inch of it out. They cut out like a full inch. They put 2 clamps on one side, 1 clamp on the other side, and then they cauterize it. Like how the fuck does that ever, like is that not effective?
It's no longer connected.
And it's not just like they cut it, it might come back together, but like they take an inch of it out. Like how? Anyway, so then Friday night, my wife and I are at this little date, on a date basically. We're sitting around this campfire, this fire thing with another couple we didn't know. And they're in their like mid-50s. We're just talking, having a good time. And the guy goes, yeah, man, like, a crazy thing happened. I don't even know how it came up. Basically, he said, yeah, dude, so we were done having kids. 3 years later, all of a sudden, my wife's pregnant. And he got upset at me, and they're like, what the fuck? And the doctor's like, send in a sample. And she's like, oh, like, you asshole, I'm not cheating on him, whatever this whole thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly what happened.
And so we'll check it out. So he sends in a sample. It's like, oh, no, there's a few little swimmers in there.
Oh.
3 years later, all of a sudden, boom. And you're like, what the hell? So then my wife and I get in the car, and I start driving, and we just look at each other, and she goes, and I cut her off. I go, yeah, next week, gonna get that checked out. That was the first thing we said to each other as soon as we got in the car. Like, that's it. We both knew exactly what's going on.
I'll call Dr.
Wiener.
Dr. Wiener tomorrow.
So check this out. So Dr. Wiener, he gave me a prescription already, like, or like a doctor's orders. So you go into the lab, and you just go into, like, whatever, Quest lab. So check this out, though. So I'm like, all right. So I go in there this morning. And it's like a take-home thing. They don't have like a room with the porno mags like you hear about, whatever. It's just like, nah, you go in, then you go home.
That's a shame.
You're supposed to like collect a sample, bring it back. Total bummer. Don't even get me started. So anyway, so I go in though, and I thought, are they going to? Nah, we'll see. And sure as shit, I walk in there, go up to the counter. There's like this 19-year-old girl sitting behind the counter working, of course. I'm like, hey, like I think I'm just like a pickup thing, like, cause I got a vasectomy. And she's like, oh, yeah, do you have your doctor's orders? I gave it to her. And then she turns around, and she pulls out, of course, a clear plastic cup. Okay, here you go. You need that. Oh, wait, actually, hold on. And I'm just like, of course, it's a clear cup. Like, I'm going to bring this thing back in. Anyway, she's like, oh, hold on. And then she gets out a bag, a clear plastic bag, and seals the cup in there. Like, all right, go, take this home, collect the sample, and, bring it back whenever. And I'm just like, oh, so you're like in this clear cup, and like when I bring it back, it's like walking in the door, like, hey, go, like that.
Keep it in your backpack, or your fanny pack,
like a drug deal, and walk up the counter, like pulled out from under my shirt, slide it across the table,
brown bag it.
Well, I'm thinking I just might just own it, just fucking walk in there, swinging that thing around.
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is.
That's appropriate.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. That's exactly my point. Like, I understand, like, the cups, those are clear cups, whatever, but you don't have, like, some sort of, like, you're not going to give them, like, why are you giving me a clear bag in this clear cup? Like, wouldn't you think they'd be like, here's a, like, give it to you in a bag or something?
What else do they do with this doctor office?
Well, it's not a doctor's office. It's not just like a
that's right.
testing place.
That's right.
It's like a Quest Diagnostics. Like, go there and get blood drawn.
Like, honestly, like, you hold it the right way. Who the hell's going to know what the hell's in there besides you?
Yeah, I guess.
You roll it up or something, kind of hold it.
Yeah, that's a pretty big cup.
Yeah.
It's way too big.
Or you just hold the cup around it like a cup of coffee.
Could have given me a much smaller cup.
This is a lot. I'm not a horse.
I just go and collect your sample, come back. It's going to be a while.
It's like on Jackass 2 when they drink the horse semen.
Well, so I told her, I said, all right, well...
Remember that?
Yeah. I said, oh, filled up, bring back. So, yeah, I said, all right, well, I'll just pull around back. We'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, well, I'll just go in the car. Come back down.
I'll just pull around back.
Put on a nice podcast.
I'll be in the alley. I'll tell Dante, he goes...
You got any lot lizards around here?
Dante said, he goes, did you ask her what the record is?
For time?
For time. Hey, what's the quickest you got one of these things back?
You'd be surprised.
Someone, 3 minutes? All right. Now, you going to count me down?
The chair in the corner of the lobby looks pretty good.
You gonna count me?
You got any home decor magazine?
Hey, where's the Victoria's Secret catalog?
Hey, where's the Men's Health? Yeah, that's a good call.
That's so weird. I realized that too. I was driving. I realized when I was going over this whole clear cup, clear bag thing, there's no instructions. It wasn't like, hey, so it needs to come in fresh, or you got to refrigerate this sample or freeze it. Like, it was just like, hey, bring it back whenever.
Well, I'm sure if like the sperms, if there is any sperms in there and they die, they're still in there.
I didn't really think of that.
Well, there's a reason why my IQ is 130.
Sperm knowledge. That's the key. No, they're still in there for sure. But I just, you'd think there'd be I don't know, I just feel like there could have been some instruction, other than collect the sample, bring it back. Hey, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe if it doesn't matter, then nothing else matters. I don't know.
Yeah, that's if you know.
I guess. And if you don't,
Yeah. Interesting.
yeah.
To say the least. This things are escalating over here with the cold brew.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
I can already tell that this is going to obviously be good, and it's obviously working. So.
First time it was like tea.
Yeah, first 2 times actually. We did it again, with more coffee and less water, but we didn't change the grounds.
I cannot emphasize the people listening how thick this is.
Well, just picture like an oil spill.
Yeah. Like used motor oil.
Just picture a beautiful oil spill in the Atlantic.
It's a beautiful gloss of oil right outside.
Just a nice shiny seagull.
Slick, an oil slick.
Covered in oil.
Fine. Yeah, just picture the Exxon Valdez. Now, and we're not talking fresh oil. This is like used motor oil.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
a good call.
This is like haven't changed your oil in 10 months.
Yeah.
Like we're like 10,000 miles. This is like the 10,000 mile oil change motor oil.
This is like the oil leak on your grandpa's car in the driveway with the silver pan that he's got laying there for the last 25 years.
Like a 67 Plymouth.
Yeah.
That's what's going on here.
Those pans, they always found a way to just get on you somehow.
Dude.
As a kid, it's always happened.
Now this is gonna be cold coffee, cold brew. Dean, you're chewing on your ice over there because you're drinking iced coffee. Now you primarily drink iced coffee. Mm-hmm. You very rarely drink hot coffee.
Correct.
Why?
Well, I like the taste better, honestly.
Right.
And I also don't like the patience it requires to drink hot coffee. Mm. And I'm never really like drinking coffee to warm up. I just prefer it. I don't know.
Right.
I will if there's no other coffee and there's hot coffee, I'll drink it.
It does taste different.
Absolutely tastes different. Just like, warm milk and cold milk taste different. You know what I mean? It's like there's no...
Oh, it brings out different tones. Not tones, but I don't know how to say it.
Flavor notes.
Notes.
Yeah,
different flavor notes. There's the ice right there.
I just prefer the taste. That's the main reason.
Yeah.
And just it's refreshing.
Yeah.
It's just good. If there was if I could just drink iced coffee all day without getting totally cracked out, I probably would.
I really like
I love the taste of it.
I like iced coffee. I like hot coffee. I'm not against hot coffee. But here's the thing about iced coffee is really my preference more than iced or hot. I really like brew methods. I really like cold brew. Cold brew coffee is just so fucking good.
See, I like cold brew, but I prefer cold coffee.
Cold standard brew coffee.
I prefer cold standard brew coffee over cold brew. 100%.
Now again, But
I do love cold brew.
Ah.
But if I had a choice of here's this one and here's this one, and I knew already how they would taste individually, it's not like some random person made it or whatever, I would choose the coffee that was brewed and then put on ice and then chilled.
Interesting.
In a refrigerator.
Like that one shitty... Oh, it's not up there. Like that one shitty cold brew maker we had, that's essentially what it did.
But it brewed it cold.
That one was... Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I'm talking you go to Starbucks or something.
Hot coffee and port of rice.
And they brew the blonde roast in the thing and then they put it in the fridge and then they pour your... I prefer contest.
Podcast contest. Okay.
We haven't done one of those in a while.
Haven't done one in a while. So first though, Eric Parker said, I would say that The Dark Knight was not only one of the best second movies, but one of the greatest movies ever. And he sent that from his iPhone.
You know what?
So last episode, we were talking about
Aaron?
Eric.
Eric. I'm gonna completely agree with Eric.
No.
Batman Begins was a great setup movie, but it was not anything remotely as good as The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises. Either or. But The Dark Knight is my favorite superhero movie of all time, without question.
Eric Parker, Dean Saddoris, Simpatico.
I agree with him. That's the best superhero movie ever made, according to my charts.
Yeah.
That's a great movie. R.I.P.
Yeah. I wonder what my favorite superhero movie is. I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of superhero movies.
Well, see, I don't either, though, but Batman is hardly a superhero. Because he's just a man with money that has gadgets.
He's just a man!
He's basically like 007 in a costume.
Right.
And not funded by the government. Self-funded.
Right. Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. That's a fucking great movie.
Did you see that newer one?
And should have made it on our list of... I don't know how... I definitely overlooked that. Major overlook. Oversight.
What's the movie with Harley Quinn in it?
That is Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Did you see it?
That movie's terrible.
Okay, so I haven't seen it, and I don't really know anything about it other than for
just another
Halloween
DC failure.
Halloween for the past 3 years, I feel like 30% of women are dressed like Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do I have to watch this movie so I know what the fuck's going on? Like, or is it just that everybody has a torn up wife beater and a fucking bat and they can go pigtails? Like, is it just like a go-to costume?
It's pretty easy.
I think, you know what? Shit, this year I'm dressing like Harley Quinn.
You should.
Fucking plot twist.
You should.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, the movie sucks. I never even really liked the Suicide Squad concept either.
God, I gotta grow my hair out again.
Yeah.
Oh! That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna dress Maddie. Because she's got blonde hair and I can tell her. I'm just gonna dress Maddie like it.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell everyone it was me because she looks just like me.
Yeah, that'd probably be a pretty good costume for her because of her hair.
Yeah.
It's already halfway there.
Yeah. And half the time she's got like blood dripping down her face or whatever too, so.
Yeah, she's got to paint her face white. I think she has like
No,
lipstick.
I don't have to paint her face white. Have you seen her?
Yeah, but it's got to be like white.
Tell me, have you seen her?
Yeah, that movie sucked. God. Not as bad as Justice League though. Jesus Christ. Talk about a shit movie. I watched that when we were on the way back from the Arnold. Literally almost put me to sleep.
Oh, man.
It is so bad. The villain was just like, oh, God.
It never ends, huh?
Yeah, anybody, if you like Justice League, then just stop listening to this podcast because you have zero taste.
Yep. All right. There we go. Thank you for listening. This has been Gas Station Cappuccino by Caffeine and Kilos. All right, peace out.
See you.
Later, town.
Later, town. Not a bot.